All right, tonight on the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast, I'm going to be talking about the Crossroads Saints. And if you guys don't know who the Crossroads Saints are, it is a original soul rock and blues band based in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we got a lot of Q&A and updating on that band. I'm in the band. So let's talk about, for 30 minutes, Crossroads Saints. I'll update you on everything that's going on, a little back history. And in case you don't know who the Crossroads Saints are, you'll find out here in a second. Here we go.
We have now entered a new dimension through the expansion of the internet world. I am Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show.
Okay, welcome to Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast show. I am Johnny Allen, and say hello to Barney, Barkin' Barney. Ruff, ruff. If you're new here, thanks for dropping by. I just usually talk about everyday life situations, a little bit on current events, not a whole lot, but a little bit on current events and things of that nature. Sometimes I talk about music, and just whatever comes to mind, I talk about it, as it relates to the lives that we all live every day, whether it be peaceful, chaotic, or somewhere in between. So, but there's been a lot of questions about my band, the Crossroads Saints. I want to update you guys on some things. Yeah, a little Q&A. I've gotten some questions I want to answer about the group. So, without further ado, let's get it going. I drink coffee on the show, and I drink CWE Gourmet Coffee. I highly recommend it. That's a local coffee company up in Michigan. I will put the links on the bottom. So without further ado, let's talk about the Crossroads Saints. Anyway, the Crossroads Saints is a all-original band based here in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's comprised of group members: Daryl Venable, Hammond B3, keys, and primarily the primary songwriter, primary vocalist. Daryl's the oldest of the bunch. He's done a stint in Nashville, and he's a very well-rounded musician, soulful, bluesy, has a lot of back influences with all the soulful blues guys back in the day. I won't get into all the detail, but Daryl comes from the school of old blues, soul, kind of background. Allman Brothers, Hammond B3 player. Just a very talented songwriter, singer, and kind of, I would say, the front man of the Crossroads Saints. Although Mike and I, we do our fair share of it. And to move on, I am the bass player. I'm Johnny Allen, and I am the bass player of the band. I do backup vocals. I've written, and we'll talk about that stuff too. But pretty much hold down the bass guitar duties of the Crossroads Saints. My brother is the drummer, vocalist, and he also participates in lyrics and backing vocals. And he is the percussion and the groove meister on the drums. That's Michael Slack. And they call me Johnny Allen. I'll get into that a little bit. I'll tell you the background on that. But my real name is John Allen Slack. And basically what Johnny Allen came from was years ago I played in a band called Gypsy Runner back in the 80s. And my Aunt Karen always called me Johnny as a kid. And while I was in Gypsy Runner, I dated a gal. And that was introduced to me by my Aunt Karen that calls me Johnny. And she says, yeah, I'll introduce you to my nephew, Johnny. And it kind of stuck. She called me Johnny. And when she would hang out with the band, Gypsy Runner, she would say, "Hey, Johnny," and the guys were like, "Johnny, oh, okay." That's kind of how that caught on. But my Aunt Karen is where Johnny came from. And it's just kind of stuck as kind of my stage name, my podcasting name, and all that. So that's a little history on, where Johnny came from. Anyway, without further ado, let's go into the history of the Crossroads Saints. And the reason why I'm bringing this to light, because I wanted to update you guys on what's going on with the Crossroads Saints. And I thought, we might as well do a whole podcast on it. I'm going to talk to you about all the information I remember, what I know, kind of funny things, just a little back bio on the band, funny stories, history, the whole thing. So really this band, Crossroads Saints, started off as a cover band back in, I think, 2007, a while back. It was a cover band. And it was actually a cover band that really Jay Wilson started. He's a guitar player, blues guy from the south side of Indy. Jay started his cover band. It was another name before that. I think it was, I can't even remember the name, but it was a blues band, strictly blues band. They later changed the name to Crossroads Saints. They had some member changes. Again, it's just at this point, it's just a cover band, bar band. And the drummer had dropped out. My brother was running sound for him, helped him out. We were friends with Jay. We did some work with Jay prior to the Crossroads Saints cover band. And basically, Mike ran sound for him a little bit, helped him out. Their drummer dropped off. Mike asked to fill in. He did. He became a member. Okay. Later on, they got Daryl. They needed some keys. They wanted some keyboard player in the band. So they had drafted Daryl. They met Daryl. I think Jay's wife met Daryl. But anyway, Daryl came on board as a cover band. Bought the Hammond B3 on board. I checked him out a few times as just in the audience. And at the time, they had a bass player. Eventually, that bass player quit. And they were really scrapping to get me in. And I said, sure. At this point, it's still a cover band. I gig with the Crossroads Saints as a cover band. We did a lot of three-piece stuff because what happened is Daryl ended up moving to Nashville to explore Nashville. And so he was there. And the three of us, Jay and Mike, were here. Guitar player, bass player, drummer. We did some stuff three-piece, and then we would do some stuff with Daryl when he would come up on the weekends. We played around town. We played like a kind of a Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Bloomington, Indiana, the Slippery Noodle downtown, Indianapolis. We played, some bars, and we played mostly covers. But here was the thing. I found out that Daryl wrote music, original music, as well as I did songs. And we kind of shared, and it sparked an interest of writing original tunes. We presented that to the Mike and Jay. They were on board. Mike was really on board. Jay was on board for a while, but then he had a difference of opinion or interest or whatever. I don't think he really wanted to do the original thing. I'm not sure what happened, but Jay dropped out. Mike and I and Daryl discussed what we wanted to do with the future of the Crossroads Saints. Did we want it to be a bar band? Did we want it to be whatever? We had some gigs lined up. So we were booked at the Slippery Noodle on a weekend, and we didn't have a guitar player. So in the meantime, Daryl's in Nashville. He hooks up with session players. He introduces Ted Thompson in Nashville. Ted Thompson is an excellent guitarist down in Nashville, Tennessee. He's played with Eddie Rabbitt. Very talented guy. He filled in for us. He was spectacular. We finished out our live gigs back then in 2000, 2008. Our obligations with Ted Thompson behind the wheel on guitar, fronting the guitar work. It had changed the sound of the band a little bit. We started becoming, we would start throwing our original songs in our sets with the covers. And we found out people really liked the originals. So we decided, hey, that's not a bad idea to keep playing. That was kind of the old Van Halen trick. Guys familiar with Van Halen, that's what they did. They play these parties, bars, or whatever. They play the covers their own way. And then they would slip their originals in there. And we were kind of doing the same thing at the time. So Crossroads Saints starts writing. We hit some studios in Nashville. We hit some studio, a local studio here in Indianapolis, The Lodge, with Corey Miller. And we did some demoing. We started off in Jay's basement, demoing this original music that we were putting together. Mike and I and Daryl. And Jay would do some guitar stuff, and he did some really good work on the first record. We actually have a first record. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But we have a record that we did back, 13 years ago with some really good songs. Okay? So anyway, we take the studio stuff that was in the basement in the old guitar player's house, Jay's. We take it over to the Lodge. We compress all this stuff. We put it all together. We go to Nashville. We do some sessions down there. We have the first really Crossroads Saints record. And that record's set idle, still setting kind of idle for years. A few people have heard it. Some really nice cuts out of that record. People will hear it. It's going to be funneled out, I think, this year after we release the new one. And I'll get to that, obviously. So anyway, Crossroads Saints becomes an original band. And then something happens. I'm not sure exactly what. But Daryl stayed in Nashville. We kind of ran out of local gigs. We didn't really pursue them because we really didn't have a dedicated guitar player. That kind of caused a little bit of the setback as far as like playing out. Daryl got hooked in Nashville, played with some other people, did some stuff down there for a while. Kind of lost contact with Daryl for a while. I did. Mike and I did. I would always call him once in a while, check on him, make sure he was still kicking and all that. But Mike and I started writing stuff here and working on our own stuff, and Daryl was working on stuff down there. So you fast forward the clock about 12 years, 10 years. Daryl, I find out, moves back up here to Indiana. I'm always excited and jazzed. In all those years, I was listening to all the old stuff and thinking, boy, this is good stuff. I miss it. We had something going on. We had a chemistry between the three of us writing, and all the way down the line. Just really enjoyed the Crossroads Saints music that we'd already written and recorded. In the meantime, I put together a cover band just to play out a little bit with some buddies from my local church, and then, like I said, Mike and I did our solo stuff. I was writing and all that. But deep down inside, I really wanted to write with Daryl again and Mike and Crossroads Saints music. I really wanted to kind of, in the back of my mind, I wanted to put this band back together again because I thought it really had potential, and we didn't give it a fair kickstart, So, and anyway, so Daryl moves home. I call home here to Indiana, and a couple years go by, and I'm like harassing him and Mike. Literally, Mike had actually stopped playing music for about a year. He just said, I'm done, and he quit for a while. Anyway, long story short I got him talked back into getting the band back together. We started jamming out at Mike's house. He turned his living room into a makeshift practice studio. We actually put together a live gig. We played one a couple years ago, US 40 Fest. It was okay. It got our feet warmed, wet with playing live again with that band. We had a couple guys that volunteered to come in and set in for us. They did a pretty good job. Thank you, Ricky and Kevin, if you guys are listening. We had a nice gig with those guys. And it was kind of fun. We got our feet wet. And then we decided, well, we're going to start writing again. And then, okay, we want to book some gigs, start auditioning guitar players that want to be a mainstay in the band. Because with the Crossroads Saints, we've always decided that we would just have guitar players float in and out as they wanted to gig with us and whatever. And that's kind of what has happened since really it became an original band. So anyway, we start rehearsing stuff at Mike's house. All of a sudden, bam, this pandemic hits, right? So, wow. Pandemic hits. Everybody's at home. No gigging, no nothing. Kind of everything gets frozen. God love Daryl. He sits in his place, and he starts writing songs. He thinks, I got some time. I'm going to start writing, guys. And he does. And he brings to the plate, Mike and I, 11 smacking original tunes, which are going to be starting released on August 6th. I'll put the link below with all the brand new Crossroads Saints stuff. So we did all this recording. We were going to do it at the Lodge. It's nothing against the Lodge. I love the Lodge. I still may do some work there. I love that. But I really am, I'm almost committed and really am fond of Corey Miller, engineer. I've worked with him for almost 20 years now. I've worked with other engineers, and I'm always going back to Corey. And I found out, I contacted Corey to start working on the Crossroads Saints stuff. And he says, hey, by the way, guys, I'm not at the Lodge anymore. I'm starting my own studio up with some guys called Roundtable Recording Company in Broad Ripple, Indiana. And we're just now building the studio. And if you guys can wait, we'll get that up and running, and you guys can come in and we'll record in there. Then the pandemic comes, right? And this is all right before the pandemic. Pandemic kicks in. That studio almost doesn't happen. It was almost like not going to happen because of the pandemic. Not to get into all the details. So we're sweating, thinking, okay, we got this material that we're working up. We feel like it's going to be really good. We don't have a studio to go to. Okay, it's going to be delayed, and it was delayed. Thank God Roundtable finally did open up. We got in the studio a year ago, really this month. Well, about a year ago in July, we started recording, and we call it the Pandemic Sessions, recorded all year. We finished up the album late March, okay? So it's been done April, May, June, and July. The album's actually been done pretty much for about 3.5, 4 months. So we get the record done, and then the strategy is, okay, now we got to set it off to the masses. How do we do that? The marketing thing, right? So we sat down for a month or so. Daryl wrote all the songs. Mike and I helped arrange them, helped put them together. We brought them to life, so to speak. We kind of, fine-tuned them to what they are, us and Corey in the studio. And our guest musicians, which I'll mention those before I, leave the podcast tonight. So anyway, we get this record wrapped up. We got to decide what we're going to do with it, how we're going to market this thing. And as we're recording the songs, we think, man, these songs will really turn out really, really good. At first, what we were going to do is just put it out on CD Baby, shop it around to a few people and see what happens. But as the record was going on and on and on, we decided this really needs some real attention. So a lot of brainstorming going on. Daryl kind of, since he wrote the songs, he kind of took the rest of it under his wing. Mike and I and Daryl, we split this, the studio stuff up. And then Daryl said, I'm taking the marketing thing under my wing, and I'm really got to push it. I believe in it, guys. So God love Daryl. He has done that. He's still doing it. And we're, like I said, August 6th, we're going to release, start dropping the songs, and I will link the website. I'll let you guys be the judge of it. If you like old bluesy rock, just different music, just different kind of a different sound, kind of old school meets new school, but it's kind of squished in between. I'll let you guys be the judge of this record when it comes out. Obviously I like it because I'm part of it, but if I wasn't part of it, I still love this record. This record turned out really fantastic. It really did. I'm not just saying that. I'll let you guys be the judge of it once these songs start releasing, which is August the 6th now, for sure. Like I said, I'm linking the website. You guys get on there. We're going to be releasing one every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 3 songs per month, and then eventually the whole record will come out. Okay, so we're all excited about what's going on. We're going to start shooting some videos to with the music, with the songs we release. We want to shoot a video to in concert with the new songs, right? Well, Father's Day weekend comes up and something disastrous happens. And Daryl goes to a birthday party, and at the birthday party, it's at a private residence. A balcony collapses, if you guys haven't heard it. And the people on the balcony got hurt pretty bad, and Daryl being one of them. He got hurt really bad. Matter of fact, just this last week, he got out of the hospital for some more treatment, but he's okay. I mean, he's going to make it, but it's going to take a while. But God love him. Say some prayers for Daryl. I've been posting it on Facebook as well as his girlfriend, Kelly. So that was kind of a major blow, not only to Daryl, right, because of his health, but it's a little bit of a setback to the band. But to Daryl's credit, he is so driven and such a go-getter that he's keeping the ball rolling from the hospital bed. He's corresponding with the marketing team to make this thing happen. So if you're watching Daryl, God love you, man. You know, it's amazing what you're doing. I think if I was in that shape, I'd probably be just laying there thinking, oh man, when am I going to heal up? You know, I wouldn't even be thinking about anything else. But Daryl, being the trooper that he is and the soldier that he is, he's just got this thing still rolling ahead. So we got a marketing team working on it. He's got a video team working on it. Now, we're not going to be in the video because he's in no shape or form to be in the video. Not right now. Hopefully later when he heals up. But we'll have lyric videos and maybe some animation videos coming down the road. But anyway, in a nutshell, I wanted to talk about the Crossroads Saints tonight because I feel like it's really worth discussing, and I'm getting you primed up for the August 6th release. Okay. So 11 songs on the record. Daryl, the songwriter, Mike and I helped put it together. We helped on the arranging, you know. I came up all the bass lines, Mike with the percussion and all that. Now I want to get to the guest musicians. We had guest musicians in the studio, and they all did a fantastic job. Okay. So we have three guitarists on the record. Justin Bryan, he played a track on it. He did a great job. Paul Holdman, okay? And last but not least, my good buddy, Mark Lindsay. They all contributed guitars. Mark Lindsay the most. Probably Mark dedicated 80% of the guitar work on the record. Mark was a trooper as well. Mark did excellent work on the record, as well as the rest of them. And Mark actually helped with the creative writing parts on some of the songs, mainly the first one we're going to drop, called Cradle to the Grave. Mark took that song and revamped it. So thank you, Mark. And it sounds fantastic. Everything that all the guest musicians did was perfect. We had Tim Wright of the Wright Brothers play steel guitar on a tune called "What's This All?" Let's see. Let me think. Which song was it Tim played on? No, I got to look at my reference here. Look Around. Gosh, how did I forget about that? We got a track called Look Around. Tim Wright did a steel guitar on there. He did an amazing job. Corey Miller hired a horn section to come in. And God love me, I can't remember the name of the guys, but they did a fantastic job. If you get on our website, it will describe all that. My YouTube channel talks about that. The Facebook has them actually a little video of them recording the horn section. So everybody did a fantastic job on this record. I'm proud of everybody. Last but not least, Corey Miller, the engineer, Roundtable Recording Company, Broad Ripple, engineered the whole thing, mixed the whole thing, and helped produce it. Okay? So Corey did a great job. So Crossroads Saints produced it. Basically Daryl and Mike. I had a little input, but it was mostly Daryl, Mike, and Corey on these 11. And it's just a big shout out to Paul, Mark, Justin, Tim, the guys on the brass. Thank you so much, Michael Strickland. He did saxophone work. I remember Mike because I worked with Mike in the past on recording stuff. Mike and I did Mike, my brother, and I did a song called Shades of Blue. Michael Strickland did the sax on that. So anyway, the old catalog, Mike and I and Daryl wrote a lot of the songs. And on this new catalog, 11 songs, Daryl wrote all the songs. Mike and I contributed to the arranging and putting it together with our instruments. And just look for good things coming with the Crossroads Saints. We pray for Daryl to get healed up. I mean, the thing is, life is unexpected twists and turns. I talked about that last week. We just don't know what's going to happen around the corner. We don't. And it's just a blessing that he's even alive. I mean, my God, But I tell you what, in a year, we had big expectations of getting more done than what we've gotten done. But it was good that we got done what we got done. Between a pandemic, a studio trying to be built during the pandemic, and Mike and I have day gigs still and trying to work around that schedule and working around everybody's schedules, the money thing, and then now Daryl, the accident. It's just a blessing that the record's going to come out on the website. The song's going to start being released August the 6th. That in itself is just a miracle. I could almost write a book about the Crossroads Saints. We did a lot of gigging, you know. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of gigging, but the gigging that we did do, I would say, were quality gigs. We played a radio show in Knoxville, Tennessee back in the day. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with Ted. And like I said, Jay, back in the day, great guitar player, blues guitarist. Did a great job on a song, particularly called Rolling On, off the old catalog. Great tune. He did a fantastic job on that song in particular, for sure. Played mandolin. But anyway, this is kind of about the new record. You guys will eventually hear the whole thing on the website, I'm sure, as it goes down the pike, as time goes on, rather. We'll send them down the pike, I should say. We'll release them. But right now, and I agree, Daryl wants to put the new stuff out, and we should, because the new stuff is probably some of the best stuff us three have ever done. And the songs are all going to be a little bit different, even though they're in the same vein, bluesy rock, alternative kind of music. I call it homegrown organic, you know. But they're, I'm just excited. A lot of different instruments. I mean, we've never had a horn section. The guy that wrote the arrangement for the horn section actually gigged with Ray Charles for years. So that's some big heavy hitters, and we got to thank Corey for that. He had the connections. As well as the other, like I said, the guitar players. All of them are great. Justin, you know, Bryant is a great guitarist. He's got a business going on. He knows a lot of people. He's just a great guy. So is Paul Holman. So is Mark Lindsay. All three guys are just great. Mark's in Highway 9 blues band. They play quite a bit. They're a great blues band. You ever get a chance, go see Highway 9. Paul Holman plays with Jenny DeVoe and Gordon Bottom, and I mean, just all kinds of guys like at the Noodle. He's all over the place. He's in so many projects, I can't name them all. And same with Justin. Yeah, these guys are just, you know. So we feel really blessed to have worked with these guys and hope to work with them in the future. I'm going to get off here. Now, next week, I'm not going to have a podcast, guys, because I got family coming into town, and this room's going to be where I'm going to live for a while. For a week, I'm going to be living in this room. So I won't be here next week. You guys have a great weekend and all that stuff. August is a whole new thing. Crossroads Saints going to have the songs released next month. This podcast is going to change next month. I won't tell you what, but little changes coming on. And right now it's just, I'm just thankful to have my bandmates alive. I mean, seriously. You know, life can be kind of scary, and Daryl's not really out of the woods yet, although he texted me and told me I'll be fine. And knowing Daryl, he will be. Go out and get your CWE coffee from Tim. Support local artists, musicians, coffee brewers. I'm all about supporting the local guys. Go support the local podcast people. If you need recording done, go to Roundtable Recording Company in Broad Ripple, Indiana, if you're close to Broad Ripple, Indiana. You know, life can be very stressful, so, you know, I say listen to music to just, you know, ease your day. It's all great. Guys, I will see you. We'll see. This is Thursday the 22nd. Let me look at my calendar real quick. When I'm going to be seeing you guys again on August the 5th. August the 5th, I will be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. You guys take care. I will put the link on the bottom. Crossroads Saints, new songs. That's what this whole thing's about. New songs. A lot of history with this group. I'm sure I'll do another blog eventually about Crossroads Saints. But anyway, yeah, please check and support local music. Man, I tell you what, give us some love, because I tell you what, not that people, I know people have rough times. I'm not saying that, but Brother Daryl, we need the support right now, man. This guy is recovering from some really bad injuries. We could use the support and the love. And just let us, you know, honest opinion, let us know what you think about the music. Comment below. If you don't like it, we're cool. Say, you know, I'm not really digging it, John. That's all right. If you love it, though, we want to feel the love if you love it. Anyway, Lord willing, I'll see you guys August the 5th. Go Saints. Go Saints. And like I said, Daryl, if you're watching, thumbs up, brother. I'm going to come see you as soon as you're ready for visitors, man. I love you. And we'll get through this thing together. And it's going to happen. I might be 90 years old, but something's going to happen. All right, later, guys. I'll see you again. Thanks for the support. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It's all good. Leave any comments below. See you later.